How are you doing today? How are you feeling? What's up? What's going on? These are some of the most common questions that you get asked every single day. If you counted 5, 10, 100 times a day, depending on where you work or what you do. And these common questions that we ask and answer almost on autopilot are often silently and without you knowing, driving the direction of your life. Welcome to Change Made Easy. Changing your habits, routines, and behaviors is hard. We make it easy. I'm Paul Leviton, and I help high achievers like you who feel stuck bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Traditional self-help doesn't work because it's either too rigid, too generic, or too overwhelming. My approach is different. I simplify change by making it so easy it can't not happen. Using my easier framework, I help people like you create habits, routines, and behaviors that stick, so you can stop struggling and start thriving. It's that easy. A lot of people say they don't like small talk. They say, just get to the real stuff. I don't want all this BS small talk and the how's it going, how's the weather. But the reality is, small talk is most of the talk that we do. There's only so many people in your life that you get into real, deep, meaningful conversations with. Every other person, from the barista to your coworkers, to someone you're just passing in traffic, to an old friend or acquaintance that you bump into on the street, you just have this kind of surface level interaction with. And I think that's okay. You can't have super deep, meaningful conversations, let alone connections, with every single person that you meet. And when it comes to surface level conversation, the most basic of all of the cliche conversations is just, what's up? What's going on? How you doing? All kind of variations of the same thing. How are you today? This question, like I said in the intro, is probably the question you answer more than any other question in your life, because every other conversation, this is a part of it. Whether you're talking to a friend, your best friend, your mom, your child, your coworker, your boss, your employee, you come in after the weekend. How's it going? How was your weekend? You come in on a regular Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning. How was your night last night? How are you feeling today? You talk to someone on the phone. Hey, how's it going? These are the most basic levels of human communication. And yet, for something that we do so often, we put so little, probably zero thought into the actual answer. When someone says, how are you doing? How's it going? What's going on? We basically just go on autopilot. It's going, it's okay, Mondays. But today I'm going to explain to you exactly why that level of small talk is actually keeping you stuck and stopping you from achieving your goals and stopping you from living the life that you truly deserve, which I know can sound crazy. How does just answering how's it going have to do anything with goals or happiness or anything like that? But stay with me for a bit. When I was first working at a gym where I would be often there from 4 or 5 a.m. till 4, 5, 6, 7 p.m. at night, 12-hour days with hundreds and hundreds of members there at any given hour. So there was every hour, people were coming in, people were leaving, people are coming in, people are leaving, and I'm just the guy who's there. So that means over the course of the day, every member that comes in, hey, Paul, how's it going? Hey, man, how's it going? Hey, what's up? Hey, how are you? That was my job to talk to members. Members also talked to me because I was a familiar face. I was the trainer. I had the tattoos. I was just the guy who was always around. So I got asked this question, what's up? How's it going? In some form or variation, 100, maybe 200 times a day. And one day I was having a particularly slow day. I was probably hungover, if we're being honest. At that time in my life, I was drinking a lot and I was just kind of going through the motions. Yeah, it's going, trudging along, making it through. And I thought to myself, what message is this sending? Not to them, but to me. Because it's not strange to anyone else when you answer that question with a kind of slow, lethargic, blasé attitude. Someone says, how's it going? And you say, it's going. That's regular. That's par for the course. But I started to think, how does that affect me? Because My words are my thoughts, and my thoughts are my words. And the words that I speak and the thoughts that I think are my subconscious. They become my self talk. So if I'm saying 100 times a day, 200 times a day on a busy day, it's going, same old, whatever it is, and just this lackluster, unenthusiastic way of thinking about my literal life, what message is that sending to my subconscious? So I decided that day, I don't remember the exact date, that whenever someone asked me, how's it going? What's up? What's going on? How are you? I'm always going to say, amazing. How are you doing, Paul? I'm amazing. How's it going today? It's awesome. What's up? How was your weekend? Oh, it was stupendous. Because now, 100, 200 times a day, when someone asks what's going on, I'm saying it's amazing. Life is amazing. Life is great. Life is excellent. And I'm programming my brain to think this way, literally. It's the same way that a gratitude practice works. People hear a lot about gratitude, and we talk about it a lot in the personal development space. And people say, you need a gratitude practice, have a gratitude journal. You should say 3 things that you're grateful for every day. And these things are great and they're powerful, they're impactful. But the reason that it works is not just because you're looking at something that you can be grateful for. The reason that it works is because you're training your brain to see gratitude where it otherwise wouldn't. As a human, you have what's known as a negativity bias. And a negativity bias just means your brain is trained from evolution and hundreds of thousands of years of human development to see negative things more saliently. We see negative more saliently, and we think about negative things more heavily than we do positives. So a classic example of this is you can have your entire day of just your regular day. You get up, you get ready for work, you go to work, you drive, this happens, that happens, this happens. But then one off thing happens. Someone cuts you off in traffic, or you get a dirty look from someone at the line at Starbucks, or someone on the train is really weird that day. And when someone asks you later in the day, your partner, your kids, whoever says, hey, how was your day today? The thing that your brain pings on is that one negative interaction. You go, oh, my day, man, it was all right, but Carol from HR was super mean, or this guy in traffic was such an a-hole, or oh my gosh, I can't believe what happened on the train. Even though you had an entire day of 12 hours of things happening that you could have talked about any of those things, the negative event lingers more saliently in our brains. And that's a defense mechanism. We do that because negative things have the potential to hurt us. So our brains have been trained to pay attention more to negative things. So something like a gratitude practice, it makes you look for positive things. It makes you look for things to be grateful for. So I do this a lot with clients where I ask them to do a gratitude journal or a gratitude practice. And for the first few days, it's always easy. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for my kids. I'm grateful for my dog. I'm grateful for my parents. I'm grateful for the opportunity to wake up today, and blah, blah, blah. But if you keep going day after day, week after week, month after month, you run out of those obvious ones pretty quickly. And then that's where it really gets interesting. When you're 3-4 weeks into a daily gratitude practice and you're like, damn, what is there to be grateful for today? And you have to look and you have to find something to be grateful for in a day that maybe didn't readily just obviously present one. Sometimes I say, I'm grateful for the rain, even though the rain rained out something that I wanted to do. I'm grateful for the rain because it feeds the flowers or something like that. I don't know. I'm grateful for the traffic because it gives me an opportunity to sit and think. When you have a gratitude practice, it trains your brain to see positives where normally it might not. And those options for gratitude always existed. That option to see traffic as a potential positive thing that slows you down and lets you breathe is always there, but we don't look at it that way because we have that negativity bias. So that's why a gratitude practice is great and very powerful. And now understanding all that, we can go back to, how's it going? How are you doing today? And I can see that because I have this negativity bias and because my brain always hones in on things that are maybe not as ideal and pays more attention to the one small negative rather than the infinite possible positive myriad things that I do have going on. What message is that sending to my subconscious except to further justify this negativity? oh man, it's going, another day. You know how it is, getting through it. It's like, yeah, okay, I guess. But when I choose to say, life is amazing. How's it going, Paul? Oh, it's going so good. Thank you for asking. How you feeling today? I'm feeling amazing. Even if that wasn't the case, it becomes the truth when I say it. I literally speak it into its existence. Just like when I'm looking for gratitude on a day that maybe I wasn't feeling the most gracious, and I go, I guess I can be grateful for traffic. I guess I can be gracious for the Chinese food place messing up my order because I tried something new today. I guess I can be gracious for my work project not getting chosen because I learned what doesn't work. It forces my brain to exercise its creativity to find the good in the bad. And similarly, when I'm saying today is amazing, because I've chosen that to be my reality, now my brain has to find reasons for my day to be amazing. I have to now confirm that because my brain doesn't want me to be a liar. This is what's known as cognitive dissonance. When our thoughts don't match up with reality, we have two choices. We can either change reality or change our thoughts. And now, if we understand that something being good or bad is not really set in reality, it's set in how we feel. When I say, today is great, today is amazing, I'm feeling amazing, everything is excellent, my brain now looks for reasons for that to be true. And I start to believe my own BS. Excuse my French. And now, again, what is the compound interest of that over time? 100, 200, even if it's only 10 times a day, even if it's only you and your doorman or you and the person who buzzes you in at work or you and your desk mate who says, hey, how's it going? Even if it's only once or twice, it's even more impactful because if you only talk to one person each day and they say, hey, how's it going? And you go, you know, it's going, it's all right. Versus you speak to one person each day and they say, how's it going? And you can say, you know what? It's amazing. I feel great today. That's a 100% difference. That is literally night and day. So I cannot overstate how important and impactful this is. And this is so cool because it's directly within your control. You could choose today, just like I did 10 years ago, that every day is going to be amazing. And every day is going to be great. And every day when someone asks you, how are you doing or how is it going, you are only going to choose to respond in a positive, affirmative way. And now you might be thinking at this point, well, isn't that just toxic positivity? Because that is a question that I've been asked on other podcasts when I've been interviewed. Paul, you have this mindset that everything is just always good and everything is always positive, but isn't life bad sometimes? How can life always be good? Isn't that just a fake positivity or some weird toxic positivity? And to that I say no, because like I said, good and bad are just figments of our imagination. Everything is decided in our mind. You get to decide what's good or bad. All of those instances, the examples I've already given. The Chinese food place messes up my order. Is that good or is it bad? You get to decide. I got stuck in traffic. I broke my leg. There is a classic ancient Chinese fable that illustrates this perfectly that I'm going to paraphrase a bit here, but it basically goes along the lines of a farmer one day has a horse that runs away and all the village people come and they go, oh, what poor luck, your horse ran away. And the farmer goes, we shall see. And then the next day, the horse comes back and all the villagers gather and they say, wow, what good luck, your horse came back. And the farmer says, we shall see. And then the next day, the farmer's son is riding the horse and he falls off and breaks his leg. And now all the villagers say, wow, what poor luck. Your son, he's broken his leg and he can't work. He can't help you. And the farmer says, we shall see. And the next day, a war breaks out and the government comes to collect all the able-bodied young men. And they come to the farmer's farm, but because the son has his broken leg, they pass over him. They don't take him off to war. To which everyone says, wow, you're so lucky. And the farmer simply says, we shall see. With the gist and the moral of the story being clearly, everyone thinks it's luck, it's good fortune, it's good or it's bad. But the farmer understands that nothing is simply good or bad. And that's how it is with life. We get to decide. A day can be good or a day can be bad simply by how you view it. So what I'm doing and what I'm encouraging you to do is simply to decide. Draw a line in the sand. Make a decision that your life is going to be good. Not because of luck or not because of what happens to you, but simply because you've made a conscious decision to live that way. You have decided that every day will be good. And if you decide that, every day is good, simply because of the decision. And I know that for a fact because I chose to do this nearly 10 years ago, and my life is pretty goddamn amazing. So, my action step for you today, for this week and forever, if you will, is to simply realize what your words do and the power of your thoughts and how your subconscious can shape the reality of your life. And when you realize that and you understand that, make a conscious effort to choose your words wisely. When someone says, "How are you doing?" say, "I'm doing amazing." And see how far that can take you and how much that can change your life. That is change made easy.